Good morning, everybody. Once you pop on here, just give me a little thumbs up to let me know you're here, or just say hello. It is 10:15, so we're gonna get started. I will let a couple people get on first before I start. So what you need today is, hi, Janie. You need a block and some sort of strap. The block can actually be maybe some sort of like office trash can that you can turn over. That would be fine. We're going to focus on hips and twists today. Backside, front side of your hips. So if you'll just lay down when you're ready. So let me just make sure I got this camera set up right. We'll do that. So as I've said before on some of these videos, it's great to be able to do these at home on your own time or live with me and all your other friends that are in quarantine, but nothing really takes the place of a good old-fashioned in-studio yoga class. So hopefully we'll be getting back to that pretty soon. My name is Suzanne. I work at MVP in Florida down in the Villages. So welcome. We are going to start, like I said, just laying down. So just find a comfortable position. If you want to put a towel behind your back, kind of lengthwise along your spine to help your chest to open up. Your knees are going to be bent. And let's put your palms on your hands and just start breathing. So feel the rise of your belly on your inhale, and then feel your belly come in towards your spine on your exhale. And just repeat those breaths as deep as you can, filling up your whole body with your breath. So at this point in time, we all got stuff going on in our heads, lots of stuff that we cannot control, but lots of things that we're worrying about. So for the next hour or so, I'd like you to just try to put away all those outside thoughts and distractions. The other day we talked about having just a little box next to you, and one by one just put those thoughts and worries aside in that box. One at a time, just pick them out of your brain, put them in the box. And then imagine that you are closing that box and then pushing that box aside, just so it's out of your reach. And now your focus is just on your breath. It's the only thing that you can control right now. So just feel the rise and fall of your belly. Just quieting your mind. You're going to bring your hands out to the side, palms up or down, whatever feels most comfortable. You're going to walk your shoulders down away from your ears. Lengthen your spine, so just make sure that your tailbone is reaching away from you. The crown of your head is reaching up. And you're just going to drop your knees side to side. And you're just going to notice how far each side your knees go down. You're not going to worry about how far they go down. You're just noticing. And you're trying to breathe with your movement. So maybe you're going to inhale to center and exhale as you drop. Or if you're moving just a little bit faster than that, maybe you're inhaling all the way over to one side and exhaling to the opposite side. And if you're used to coming to my classes, you know that you move on your own breath. If I say my right side and you're on your left side, perfectly fine. You take your time in various poses and movements. And clearly, nobody is there to judge you today, and we don't ever judge you in a class setting either. Let's take those knees over to your right side, and you're just going to leave them there. Maybe walking your feet a little bit closer to your upper body, raising your arms up overhead, and giving yourself a big stretch on the left side of your body, reaching through your left arm, your left side of your torso, your left hip, your left knee, outer thigh on that left side. Big, deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And bring those knees back up to center. Relax your arms and drop them over to the left. Reach those arms again. Big upper body stretch as you feel that nice length on the right side of your body. Down through that right knee. Just noticing how your body feels this morning or this evening whenever you're doing this video. If you're doing with me right now, then it's morning time. Let's bring those knees back up to center. Relax your arms down at your side. You're going to bring your feet a little bit closer to you. Your right leg is going to reach up into the air, pointing your toes. And then you're just going to bend your knee and then point your toe. So just bend and point and straighten that leg. So let's point up and then bend and flex your foot as you come back down. So all we're trying to do here is just warm up your knees before we sit up. Nice and slow. Let's inhale as you lengthen and exhale as you bend. 2 more times. Slowly set that foot back down on the floor or your mat, and your left leg is going to go up, pointing your toes, then flex your foot, bend your knee, point your toe, straighten your leg, bend and flex. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. Keeping your focus on your breath, on your movements. When your mind wanders away, you bring it right back to your breath. 2 or 3 more times. Again, always on your own breath. And then let's bring those knees into your chest and give yourself a big hug. So right now, just kind of notice how this feels in your low back. You want to push your hips down, your tailbone down and away. So maybe your knees don't come in so far to your chest. Let's turn your feet around your ankle joints. And then opposite direction. And then neutral with your feet, arms out to the side. Let's drop your knees to your right. Just gentle twists so the knees don't have to be parallel or perpendicular to your body. Just gentle twist at your waist, just warming up your spine. Bring your knees back up through center and over to the opposite side. So you can place your left hand on your right thigh if that feels okay, but please feel free to make it very, very gentle. One more breath. Come on back to center. Cross at your ankles or your shins, grab behind your legs, and just rock a couple of times or come on up to a seated position. So you're just gonna find something comfortable. I'm gonna sit on a block. If you have a pillow or something nearby and you wanna sit on that, or if you wanna roll up your mat a little bit, I just like it because it makes my pelvis tip forward a little bit, my hips. It takes the pressure off my low back. So in a seated position, and as always, if this doesn't feel good for you, please straighten your legs. Find a position that does. You can lay back down if you'd like. Your palms are going to be up and your eyes are shut. So if you happen to do this at night, when the sun is down, I'd like your palms to be down on your thighs. But if where you're at right now, the sun is up, then palms up. Your shoulders are up, back, and down. And you have space between every vertebrae. The best you can, pushing down into your hips, up through the crown of your head. Big, deep inhales. Full, complete exhales. Just focusing on your breath, pushing away all those outside thoughts and distractions. Quieting that mind. Just tip your head over to one side. Bring your head up through center and over to the opposite side. Your eyes are still shut. You're just tipping your head, right side, left side. You can turn your palms down now on your thighs. Hopefully that'll help you maybe put a little pressure on your thighs to just sit up maybe a little bit taller. And just like those knee drops, you can inhale to center and exhale as you drop your head over, or just inhale all the way over and exhale all the way back to the other side. And then when your head gets over to the right, we're going to hang out over there. So eyes still shut. You can take your right hand and place it on your head and give your neck just a little bit deeper stretch with that extra weight of your hand lightly on your head. Don't pull down, just rest it on your head. And breathe. Thinking about those shoulder blades in the back coming together to keep you upright. And then keep your head over there. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Turn your chin so that it's facing your shoulder, so that if your eyes were open, you'd be looking at your right hand. You're going to feel that a little bit differently on the left side of your neck. You can take that left arm and wrap it back behind you, just to put that forearm right at your mid-low back area, and that will sort of remind you to sit up nice and tall. Let's come back around to center and a big couple of shoulder rolls. So up, back, and down. Okay, we'll just tip your head over to the other side. So with your shoulders down, your eyes shut, head is tipped over to the right, left, left this time. Left hand over, on your head if you'd like. This is just optional. Everything we do today is optional, as always. Big deep breaths. Then take that left hand, place it down at your left hip, turn your chin to your left shoulder, and then right hand, bend it behind your back, and see if that doesn't help you sit up a little bit taller as you stretch the right side of your neck in a little bit different way. Breathe right into that right side of your neck. Try to let go of all of your tension with your exhale. All right, bring both hands down to the floor and just bring your neck to the center and over to the other side, and then back around to the left and then to the right. So just a little half circle. Please be mindful today of how you feel. If I ask you to do something that doesn't feel right for you, you are not going to do it. You're either just going to hang out breathing, or you're going to make a modification that feels better for you. Your chin is at your chest. You're just looking down. Let's take your fingers behind you and interlace your fingers, pulling your shoulder blades together, opening up your chest. And then when you're ready to take your inhale breath, you're going to bring your arms up, looking up, touching your palms together if you can, and then slowly bringing your palms down out to the side on an exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale up and exhale away. Again, inhale and exhale. One more time. You're going to interlace your fingers up top. You're going to bring your palms together in front of you, pulling your shoulder blades apart, maybe looking down at the mat. Really feeling that nice stretch in your mid and upper back. When you take in your next inhale, you're going to open up your arms, open up your chest, look up, come back into your cat, palms together. Inhale, open to cow. And come back as you exhale into cat. And then just moving on your own breath. All right, let's go 2 more times. And then when your arms get back behind you, let's place them on the floor, fingers away from you or towards you, whatever feels good, and look on up. Big deep breaths. All right, you're going to come back to center. If you're sitting on a block or any sort of item, you're going to move that to the side. Your knees are going to bend and your feet are going to be just a little bit wider than your hips. You're going to place your hands behind you. You're going to sit up nice and tall, and you're just going to drop your knees side to side. Just kind of working out those hips. Keeping your focus on your breath. I would advise you to just keep your eyes shut as much as you can. You're going to come back to center. You're going to sit up nice and tall with your feet out in front of you. You're going to take your right leg and bend it, pulling that leg in to keep you nice and tall. You're going to take your left arm and wrap it around, and we're going to do a nice twist. So maybe some of you can only twist to the corner. That's fine. If you can get your shoulders over to the right, that's fine. If you can twist a little bit more to wherever you get to, inhaling as you lengthen your spine, exhaling as you twist more. Take your chin and look back behind you as far as you can, and then your eyes, look as far as you can with your eyes behind you. Come back to center, and let's try the other leg. So left knee bends, wrap this right arm around, so pull that leg in, and then left hand behind you. Inhale as you lengthen, exhale as you twist at your waist. Your right foot is flexed, and you just twist and turn as best you can at the waist. Then take your chin, then take your eyes. So we have muscles in your eyes too. They need a little bit of a stretch. One more breath. Let's come on back to center and just kind of shake out your legs a little bit. We're going to swing your legs around and find hands and knees. So for some of you, hands and knees doesn't work very well, which is going to be okay because we're not going to be here that long. But if you get to the point where it just doesn't feel right for you, you can just lay down on your belly. You can roll up your mat a little bit. We're going to do a couple of poses here. So first off, with your hands underneath your shoulders, I want you to take your right leg and reach it straight back behind you. So you're in a 3-point plank, and you're just stretching that calf. So you're pushing through your right heel, and you're looking straight down. Fingers are wide. And then I want you to take that right foot and step it to the left side of your body and turn laterally, stretching the right side of your body, looking back at what is your right foot behind you, and feeling that nice stretch in your waist area on the right side. Take one more breath. Come back to center, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now it's your left leg. You step that back, push through that heel. Really feel that in your calf muscles on that left leg. Bottom of your back side of the left leg. Breathe. Keep that spine nice and long, even when you take that left leg now to the right side of your mat. Look back and feel that nice stretch, left side of your body. You should feel that stretch intensify every time you take an inhale breath. Notice how you feel right side, left side. And if at any point you need to pause a video to just stay on one side a little bit longer, perfectly fine. Let's come into child's pose. So your knees are going to go wide, your big toes come together, your arms are going to reach out in front of you, and your hips go back towards your heels, and your head goes down to the mat. For some of us, this doesn't quite work. It's not as relaxing as maybe it should be. So you find something that does relax you. Maybe your elbows are down on the mat. Maybe you stack your fists. Maybe your hips are higher. You really want to work on getting those hips back lower than your shoulders. But sometimes as we get older, our knees don't bend as well as they used to. So just do your best. All right, so now we're going to work on some balance and some shoulder strength and stretch. So we do this in class a lot, and now you're at home, so you can do it without any fear of anybody watching you. So it's just to thread the needle. I'm going to give you lots of options. We're going to start with your left hand. It's going to come forward just a little bit, maybe 2 inches. You're going to take your right palm and thread it underneath your left armpit. You're going to fall down or lower yourself down onto your right ear and your right shoulder. You're going to feel a nice twist at your waist, and then you can stay there. Then you have 2 or 3 more options. You can take that left arm and reach it straight up to the ceiling. You can place those fingertips back down on your mat and take your left leg and try to reach it back behind you. So if you're just tenting those left fingers, you have a little bit of a balance going on. And then the full expression would be to take that left arm all the way up and breathe. So I'd keep your eyes open, find something on the floor that's not moving, and just stare at it. Deep breaths. Perfectly fine to fall over. When you're ready, come back up to hands and knees. Knees are wide, and find your child's pose. So when we do this in class, people fall over. It's perfectly fine. We might giggle a little bit while we're doing it, and that's also fine. It's good to laugh at something these days. All right, so let's take your right hand, walk it forward just a little bit, about 1 inch or 2. Left hand underneath your armpit until you can't reach anymore. And then you just fall onto your left ear, left shoulder, and stay there if that's good for you. Your right arm can go up to the ceiling, and you can stay there. Or you can bring your fingertips back to the mat and extend your right leg back behind you. Pointing or flexing your foot, whatever feels good. And then that right arm can go back up to the ceiling. Big deep breaths, just about 3 or 4 of them. One more breath. Come slowly out of that. Push yourself back into child's pose. And take a couple of breaths. All right, from here, on an inhale breath, with your fingers spread wide, bring your hips back in line, or your knees back in line with your hips. And then I just want you to bring your upper body forward as you fall down onto your thighs and lower yourself down onto your belly. Then with your hands at your chest, toes pointed, lots of energy running through your legs, and your elbows at your side, you're just going to press yourself up, your upper body only, on an inhale. So as far as you can go, maybe it's here, maybe it's here, maybe it's all the way up, and then you're going to slowly come back down. So you're going to inhale up and exhale down. When you push up, you're going to relax your shoulders down away from your ears. You're going to imagine somebody pulling you up through the crown of your head and forward at your belly button and back through your toes, lengthening your body. Let's do that 2 more times. And your option is always to just be on your forearms and just press up a little bit and back down. So actually, let's do this 2 more times wherever you are. And then the next time you press up, put your hands at your chest if they're not already there. Press up and back into child's pose again. And then from child's pose, your knees in line with your hips, your fingers spread as wide as you can. Tuck your toes. Look back at your legs and push your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So in down dog, your hips are high. Your knees can be slightly bent if you'd like them to be, or if you need them to be. You try your best to push your heels down to lengthen the back side of your legs. It's a fabulous stretch for the back side of your body. Works those shoulders. Spread those fingers wide, tuck your chin. Look back through your legs. Try not to look at the mat, so don't lift your chin up. Take a breath. Look up at your hands as you bend your knees and walk your feet up till you get into forward fold, and then slowly, 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 slowly rise up to a standing position. Your shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. So you're going to be facing the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn this way for a moment. And we always do fix your clothes and fix your hair pose when we stand up. And then once you do that, you just make sure that your feet are in line with each other. So all 10 toes lined up. The closer your feet are together, a little bit more balanced challenge it is. So you decide what works best for you. Your hands are going to be at your side or at your heart. Your eyes are shut. So we're just going to stand here quiet and still for about 3 breaths. The next time you take an inhale breath, raise your arms all the way up. Turn your palms away on an exhale and just let your hands come down. Let's do that again a couple of times just on your own breath. Always inhaling up and exhaling down. The next time you're ready to take an exhale breath, you're going to fold forward at your hip. So find your hip joints, slightly bend your knees, and fold as far forward as your back lets you. And then rise right back up on your inhale. And then come right back down on your exhale. So I don't want you feeling it in your low back. So if you fold forward and you start to feel it there, I want you to bend your knees more. Or I want you to maybe just to come down halfway. So a half forward fold is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you're folding at those hips to take that pressure off your low back. You don't want to be rounded at the low back, ever. You want those discs to stay right in place. So one way to push them back into place is to push those hips forward and do more of an extended mountain pose. And we're just moving on your own breath. Warming up those legs a little bit more. All right, once you get to your standing position, let's just hang out there. So in mountain pose, eyes shut again. Just let everything we've done so far flow through your body. Keep all those outside thoughts and distractions away, over in that box that you cannot reach. All right, you're going to take your block if you want one, or your trash can, or a stack of books or something at the top of your mat if you need them, or if you want them for your lunge poses. So for me, I don't normally use the blocks for lunges, but when we do twisting lunges, sometimes I like it because it can actually help you balance, but it can also push you a little deeper into the twist. So we'll just start right side, left side. We'll do 3 sets of lunges. You may stay at the first level, move on with me, or go to whatever level feels right for you. So with your feet firmly on the floor, let's inhale your arms up. Let's exhale as you fold forward. You're going to take your right leg straight back in a low lunge. So your left knee right over your left ankle, and the right knee can be down on the floor or off the mat, whatever works for you. Your fingers are going to line up pretty much with your toes on that left foot. You might want to walk your left foot out just a little bit because this knee should be directly over your ankle. I see a lot of people in class with their knees forward, so just make sure that you sink back into that back heel, or maybe even drop that knee down and maybe come here. So maybe that works better for you. Maybe if you had those blocks, you could have a block right here to keep you a little bit higher. Your shoulders are always higher than your hips when you're trying to do lunge. You're pushing through that right hip, bringing it forward, lengthening your hip flexors, and just breathing. If your knee is off the mat in the back, push through your heel on the right leg and press down into your left foot to feel that nice diagonal stretch, as well as a nice calf stretch. So if you're using a block, let's just move that away, just to the side. I'd like you to take your front foot, which is your left, and hike it back behind you in down dog. So I'm going to give you options here. You can stay in down dog, you can come into child's pose, or you can bring this into a flow. You could come into your plank, shift more forward, come down into your chaturanga, inhale up into some sort of back bend, tuck your toes, and find your down dog, where everybody else will be. And then we're going to take your right leg and bring it forward for your low lunge on this side. So you can drop that knee in the back, right knee over your right ankle, head is up, try not to droop and slouch. Try to relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Again, that block or that trash can, whatever you're using, is great to keep you upright. And you can walk that right foot out as much as you need to, just to make sure that knee is over your ankle and not out to the side. And breathe. Push your left hip forward and down. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. One more breath. You're going to come back into down dog, child's pose, or add that little vinyasa flow if you'd like. So from down dog, if you want to flow with me, you inhale into plank. You exhale as you lower down, hovering a little bit if you can. Then you inhale into cobra with me or up dog, and you tuck your toes and exhale into down dog. Everybody stays in down dog or child's pose for one more breath. And then we're going to take your left leg and bring it forward. This time you can stay in that low lunge if you want, just like we were, or you can try to take this a little bit higher into crescent lunge. So you plant your feet, You bring your upper body up so that your shoulders are right over your hips. Try not to lean forward. Try not to fall over. Hands are at your side or at your heart, or you can sweep them up over your head. So I'll just move to the side just to show you what the side view looks like. So again, shoulders over your hips. You're not forward. If you need to lower that knee, perfectly fine to be right here. Opening up that hip flexor just a little bit more and working on your balance with your upper body a little higher and with that back knee off your mat. 2 more breaths. And then let's come into your down dog, child's pose, or that flow. So this time I'm just going to stay in child's pose. If you want to come into your plank, down into chaturanga, inhale to up dog or cobra, and exhale into down dog. Everybody will take 2 or 3 more breaths. And then this is where I need everybody in class to remind me which leg it is. I believe it's our right leg now. We're going to bring that forward and find your crescent lunge on this side. So you pick your option. Again, knee over your ankle, back knee down on the mat if you need it, hands on your thigh, side, heart, up overhead. Your other option is to interlace your fingers behind you and look up. But really try to focus on that opening of your hip flexor. So push down, lift up, and push forward. So feel that length and breathe. You have 3 or 4 more breaths. Even weight between those feet. All right, from here, you're going to bring your hands forward. You're going to step that back foot forward into forward fold. You're going to slowly rise up. Big shoulder roll. You're going to make your feet a little bit wider than your mat. And just swing your arms side to side. All right, so now we have the twisting lunge. And again, you can stay in the first level, second level, so low lunge, crescent lunge, or move right into the twisting lunge if you'd like. So this is where something like a block, a stack of books, that trash can will help you. We're going to take a big inhale. You're going to exhale as you fold forward, and let's step your right leg back, and let's put that knee down for now. If you want, the block goes right underneath your face. Your left foot, walk it over so it's at least on the edge of your mat, maybe wider. Right hand is on your block or on the mat. You're going to start to put your left hand on your left thigh and twist yourself to the left, feeling that twist at your waist. And then that left arm is going to go up to the ceiling. So now you have 2 other options. You can lift that back knee up and look up or down. Your next option from here is to bring yourself all the way up and twist with your arms out in front and back. Still thinking about sinking down into your hips, and twist at your waist, not at your hips. So do what feels right, what challenges you, but allows you to stay in the pose. 1 more breath. All you're going to do is find down dog for about 3 breaths. Bend those knees, take your right leg, shoot it on forward, and drop that left knee down. So now we're going to twist over to the right, block if you want it, move the right foot over. That's just to protect your knee, very, very, very important. Left hand underneath your face, start your twist, bring your right arm up to the ceiling, push forward with that left hip, twist at your waist, and then make your adjustments if you want. Off the back knee and off that hand in the front. You can look back, you can look forward, you can just look to your right. 2 or 3 more breaths, wherever you'd like to be. That hand that's reaching up for the ceiling, bring it on down. Move the block or whatever you're using. Step that right foot back into down dog. Bring your hips, knees down, hips back. Find child's pose. Big deep breaths. All right, let's come up through your hands and knees. You're going to lay down on your back with some sort of strap or towel or tie, whatever you have. Your hands will work just fine as well. So you're going to lay down with your feet at the top of your mat, your head at the back, and your knees bent right now. When you lay down, I'd like you to just drop your knees side to side. And just maybe think back about 45 minutes ago and how this felt. And hopefully it feels a little bit easier. And then we're going to make it feel a little bit more, I was going to say a little bit more better, but a little easier, even more so than that. So let's take your left leg, put it up in the air with the strap around the ball of your foot. Your hands can be on your calf, your hamstring. You can grab your own toes because you're not in a class with anybody else, so you can't grab anybody else's toes. All right, relax your shoulders. Your right leg can stay bent or it can straighten. Flex your left foot, push your heel up and your hip down on that left leg. Feel that nice length in the back of your leg. And now that things are going to get a lot more gentle, your mind is going to want to wander away. So keep it back on your breath. Every time it starts to wander, just realize it's happening. Bring it right back to your breath. Let's drop that leg over to your left. Right arm out to the side. Whatever kind of angle you have. You want to try to work on a 90-degree angle, but whatever works. I just want you to feel it in your inner thigh on that left leg. And I want you to feel a nice opening of your whole front side of your body. Big deep breaths. Let's slowly bring that leg back through center. You're going to twist at your waist, let that leg drop all the way over to the right. So your toes over so that they're touching the floor, which means maybe for some of you that your left shoulder comes way off the mat. Perfectly fine by me. I'd rather you have that leg over to feel that nice stretch in your glutes and your outer thigh. And then just try to work on getting that left shoulder and left arm back down on the mat. If that doesn't work and your arm's just kind of up there, just lay it on your thigh, or better yet, right on your rib cage, and try to pry your rib cage to the left as your legs try to go to the right. And breathe. We're going to come back to center. We're going to go to the other side. So now your right leg goes up. Your left leg can bend or stay straight or stay bent and go straight. Your heel is going to reach up. Your hip is going to reach down. So really think about the length in the right back side of that leg, or the back side of that right leg. Relaxing your upper body into your mat, into the floor. Deep breaths. Let's let that right leg just drop over to the right. Again, it makes no difference how big this angle is. You just do whatever works for you today, and just be happy with whatever you were able to do. And frankly, I'm just grateful that everybody wants to do some yoga online while we're all stuck at home. So I do thank you for tuning in today. One more breath here. Use a breath to bring that leg back through center. Grab the strap towel or foot or leg with your left hand and drop your leg over to the other side. Again, big twist. And again, for me, I would rather you roll all the way over with that right foot on the floor, and then start working on your shoulder and upper body coming back to the right. If it doesn't go over, perfectly fine. Your right hand on your rib cage, and just start to kind of force your rib cage to the right as your lower body stays anchored onto the floor. And then at some point, you'll get to the point where you can twist at your waist. Your shoulders will stay on the mat. Your right arm will go out to the side. But in yoga, you never, ever, ever have to be perfect. You just have to do your best at that particular time. So your best today does not have to match your best yesterday or tomorrow. Just be happy with whatever you got today. Let's let go of that strap or towel if you're using one. Bring your knees back into your chest and give yourself a hug. And if you can remember how this felt at the beginning of class, you might not have been able to bring those knees as close to you as you could before. And if you need to, let's turn your feet around your ankle joints if they feel like you need a little bit of movement. Opposite direction. And then just arms out to the side. Let's drop your knees to the right real quick, maybe 2 breaths. And then knees back up to center, 2 breaths on the left. All right, the most important part of your yoga practice is always your final relaxation. So you're going to bring your knees back to center. You're going to find a comfortable position. And we're going to lay here for about 3 or 4 minutes, as quiet and as still as you can be. So you can lengthen your legs out, let your toes fall to each side. If you have a towel or an eye pillow and you want to place it over your eyes, I would suggest doing that. And if you want to go to a wall in your room and put your legs up the wall, that would be my first and most important recommendation. It's a great pose. And your hands are just going to be at your side, palms up. And we'll just be quiet and still for just about 3 or 4 minutes. Just watching your breath. Not letting any of those outside thoughts or distractions bother you. All right, let's slowly start to wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes, just slowly waking yourself back up. You can stretch your arms up overhead and give yourself a big full body stretch. And then you can bend both knees and rock them side to side. And then find a side that feels good. Hang out there for a breath or two. And then slowly push yourself up to a seated position. Your hands are going to be at your side, palms up. We're going to all breathe together wherever you're at. So on an inhale breath, raise your arms up. And a big ah as you exhale. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Ah. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. Have a fabulous rest of your day. I hope you get out and do something fun that doesn't involve touching anybody else. Thanks. See you next time. Bye-bye.